And we are up. Well, there we go. A little mix up on the intro, but that's the way it goes with a podcast. I went right directly to my next song, Mr. Starr. Hello, welcome to Unlocking the Middle School with Principal Dean Packard and my good friend and co-host, Principal Chris Starcheski. How are you, Chris?
Hey, everybody. How are you?
How are things? How has your weekend been?
Weekend was fantastic. You know, we've got an amazing week ahead of us, and the opportunity to rest and relax and kind of rejuvenate was absolutely necessary as we're heading into this tomorrow morning's meetings that we've got started up.
Absolutely. You know, Chris, and the more I think about what we have to do, the more I'm just kind of putting that to the side right now, because tonight we've got something pretty special. And, this show, Unlocking the Middle School, is about recognizing all the great things that middle school has to offer for kids, teachers, and what we do each and every day. So I get super excited when this comes up. And, we really led into this specific episode because this is really we're going to be talking about student leaders and why student leaders are so important within their school.
Yeah, the life of the school is certainly about the kids, and these past several months during our school closure, Mr. Packard, have been really tough, as we've had engagement with students in a variety of ways, but we haven't had true face-to-face engagement, and it's been really rough having our guests that we have on board tonight in these four amazing student leaders, scholar leaders, is certainly a fantastic way for us to head into this upcoming week. This weekend, though, was a weekend without students. What did you do with your time this weekend?
I had a great weekend, actually. I had a chance to get away with my wife for my anniversary, 27th anniversary. We headed up to Maine, Bar Harbor, about 5.5 hours in the car. But I'll tell you something, I don't recommend that every middle school student do this. But I was up at 3:30 this morning in order to drive up Cadillac Mountain, the highest peak in the Northeast, up in that section of Maine, to be able to watch the sunrise. And I'm going to tell you something, man, was it worth it. I was telling my wife, I said, I can't believe we're doing this. I get out of the car. It's probably 20 of 5 in the morning, and there were already like about 250 people at the top of the mountain. So I said, this is going to be spectacular. And there was no doubt it was worth the wait when the sun came up at 5:05. Absolutely breathtaking. I'm glad we did it.
Wow. What a great way to kind of feed your soul, and be able to get out there and back to, well, I don't think you camped up in Bar Harbor, but I
camped on the luxury side. I did stay in a hotel room, which was good. But all in all, it was really good. Hey, let's get away from that for a moment. But thank you for bringing that up. But let's really talk about NELMS Scholar Leaders. What is a NELMS Scholar Leader? We did not, with the closing of school in March, we did not have the opportunity to recognize these four individual students the way we normally would. There's normally a great celebration. Talk a little bit about NELMS and talk a little bit about what they do to recognize the quality and excellence within students.
Yeah, NELMS Scholar Leader program has been around for a while. The New England League of Middle Schools, which Dudley Middle and Charlton Middle School are a part of, have been participating in this program for a number of years. And really, the program is designed to identify students who've distinguished themselves as academic, social, emotional, and peer leaders in their school. Hundreds of kids from throughout the state have been recognized over the years. One of these kids, a couple of years ago, I just get the opportunity to brag a bit, was my daughter, Molly, who's going to be a junior at Shepherd Hill. She was a NELMS Scholar Leader, so I've got a really close connection to the program, and I'm really proud of all students who are able to become NELMS Scholar Leaders, because what they've done is they've established a framework for themselves of teamwork, dependability. They're able to set and achieve personal goals. They're able to have positive interactions with others. They're able to have a high level of productivity. They're able to exemplify the ideal of respect. They have a respect for diversity, and they provide service to others. And sometimes that's in the form of community service, Dean, but sometimes it's also in the spirit of service of modeling appropriate and smart behavior and attitude. And our four NELMS Scholar Leaders, who we're going to bring into the room in just a moment, exemplify all those qualities and traits. So each year we would typically have gone to a massive banquet that's held typically out in Marlboro, where we purchase tables of 10 and we sit around with teachers, kids, and parents and talk about scholarship and achievement and just get to celebrate with some great keynote speakers, as well as hundreds of others from around the state who are being recognized at their school level, but on the scale of New England,
Yeah.
the New England League of Middle Schools.
I think one thing I wanted to bring in as well, Chris, is that these representatives of our school, these ambassadors, they were voted in by our teachers, their teachers, our staff. So when I say you get this honor, this is an honor that's achieved because of the way that they carry themselves, the way they believe in themselves, the way they lead. All these things come together, which makes it really special. And each year we only get to pick one boy and one girl as a representative from your school. And again, when you're sitting in that room at that big banquet, it's really cool. And this is the inaugural first time where we do a podcast to recognize the greatness of these kids, because we didn't do this last year, Chris. So totally looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Really fired up to be able to have some live viewers tonight as well, Mr. Packard. Thanks, Kristen, for that shout out. Mr. Olson's on, and there are a couple others who we can't quite see. So that's a good thing. And everybody will be able to follow this podcast later on, though, by clicking on our Periscope link on Facebook and on Twitter.
Let's get right to our featured guests, because I think it's important for them to have an opportunity tonight. And we're going to bring them in one by one. In really no particular order. Let's start with Jack. Bring Jack in first. Jack's a student at Charlton Middle School. How are you, Jack? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Hey, listen, very quickly, I want to say thank you so much for being with us tonight. We were talking earlier about the question that we wanted to ask you guys, and what really has helped shape you as you've gone through the middle school to be the person that you are today, and talk about some of your experiences that have made you really, really work towards being who you are right now.
Yeah. So, coming into middle school, it was a big jump from elementary school, and, all the teachers were awesome, and they would help me. They would help the students, plan all their work out, keep themselves organized. And it was really, really a great way for it to happen. And even like moving through the years, like as you get up to 7th and 8th grade, you get into, different math classes, really, for me. And it was more of a challenge for me. So I had to, really keep myself organized, persevere through it, and really stick with it.
Jack, what's the biggest memory you're going to take away from Charlton Middle School? Like, I know you have friends, but what is the one thing that's really sticking with you that you're going to take with you, and it's going to help you just drive yourself forward?
Really a big thing was this year. I had my history teacher, Mr. DiCataldo. When we would be discussing a topic, we would, the whole class would get in on it, and everyone would just throw ideas back and forth, and it was really good for us to all be talking together.
I love to hear that. And I love the fact when students recognize how teachers really help them and invoke their thought process and made them and help shape who you are. So that's cool. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Mr. Starr, do you want to add anything?
No, Jack, I hear you talk a little bit about, perseverance as a characteristic and a trait. I think it's really important that you brought that to the table, because as we start to get more developed and get into high school, and we're going to have bigger problems that are going to come our way, having the ability to stick with it is absolutely essential. Congratulations on your NELMS Scholar Leader Award, Jack, and for being here with us tonight. Thank you so much.
We're really proud of you. Stay on here. We got some of your friends coming up next, okay? Mr. Starr, why don't you do the honors next?
Sure. We've got a DMS Scholar Leader coming in. Her name is Athanasia, and Athanasia, as a NELMS Scholar Leader from Dudley Middle School, the thoughts that you have on the question that we posed to you earlier. What led you to have such a high degree of success from where you started to where you are now and where you're headed?
Oh, well, when I was from a very young age, I was taught, we should always respect everybody and treat them the way we want to be treated, which made me, help others with, if they needed help, I was always there for them. Sometimes people need that push to just bring them up. And, in my household, my parents, they came, from Egypt and to America, so, they came here to give me a better life, which helped me give me that push to really work hard and never give up when things get tough. my dad really pushed me to do my best in school, and he never gave up on me.
It sounds like you have
Athanasio,
some great models.
what is the one thing you're going to remember most about DMS?
I'm gonna miss all my teachers. They like really helped me. Like when like you're always feeling like if you're feeling down, they always like bring you back up, and
That's awesome.
they always believe in you. Like and they tell you to like never care about what others think. Like you do you. Like that's what they always say.
They helped you shape who you are. I love that. That is so cool.
And I think one of the most important things, Athanasia, is what you talked a little bit about at your intro about being able to help others and extend out what you have as a strength and help build them up. And that's something that I'm very proud of as the DMS principal, and I'm very excited to hear that you've taken away, that as a big lesson. Because that is what great leaders do, and you certainly are in that category of a great leader.
That's fantastic. Congratulations very, very much on your achievement, and very well deserved. Very well deserved. You're welcome. Mr. Starr, you got another one of yours coming up.
All right, let's bring in Zachary. He's our other 8th grade NELMS Scholar leader from Dudley Middle School. Zach, as you've been thinking a little bit about what you heard Jack and Athanasia say, what was it about the middle school experience that brought you to feel confident in your skill set, and what are your key takeaways?
Teachers have really helped me. But all right, as Athanasia said, obviously the teachers were a key part in helping me through everything, but my parents have also helped me a lot, and my friends have also been there too.
So one question I have for you, your greatest memory of DMS, what is the one thing you're going to take with you when you go to high school?
My 7th grade year in Mr. Howard's class, that was the most fun I've had in school ever.
We won't ask you to elaborate on that because I'm sure the learning was extremely high as well, which is good. And I know Mr. Howard pretty well. That's a great shout out for him.
Hey, to be able to have a takeaway that's not necessarily about being serious and completely focused, you've got to balance learning with fun. And that's something that I think that based on what I know of Jack, Athanasia, Zach, and our next guest, Alyssa, I think they like to have fun despite achieving at a very high level. And that's a trait that is exceptionally important as we roll towards high school. Kick it to you, Mr. Packard.
Absolutely. So Zachary, thank you very much, and congratulations again on your honor. It's an amazing thing to be recognized in this capacity. I want you to know that because you are really in the upper echelon of kids that are your age within your school. So it takes a lot to get recognized. And that leaves us to our last and final recipient of the NELMS Scholar Award this year, Alyssa. Alyssa at Charlton Middle School, an outstanding student. Alyssa, welcome, and tell us a little bit about your journey through middle school and some of the things that helped you become the person that you are today. What has shaped you as a result of our middle school experience?
Thank you. Throughout middle school, I made a lot of friends and a lot of fun memories with some really great teachers, and being part of student council also helped me work better with other people and how to lead more. And the teachers really helped everyone out if you needed help, and they had a lot of fun with them.
That's outstanding. What's one of the greatest memories you're going to remember about Charlton Middle? And not that we get out on March 12th this year because of remote learning. I think that's going to stick with all of us. But just something from your journey that you just say, I'm never going to forget this because it really stuck with me.
Definitely some of the teachers, like Mr. Sinico. He was super fun to be around. You could always joke around with him, and we had a lot of jokes. It was funny. He's fun to be around.
Good stuff. Well, listen, Alyssa, congratulations. As I look at all of you and I look at that future leader platform, listen, I'm going to challenge you and I'm going to say this to you. Don't stop trying to be as good as you can be. You need to challenge yourself. Don't ever settle. When you're making your choices on who you're going to hang around with or how hard you're going to work for something, make sure that it defines you and where you want to go. And if you do that, you're going to write your own ticket. So, and I mean that sincerely. And, you know, I'm just stepping back as a principal. And just if I had a baseball hat on, I'd tip it to you guys right now and say congratulations. But I do believe, Mr. Starr, this is probably just the start of some great things for these 4 young students in front of us tonight.
Man, you know, talking with kids gets me all fired up because they are the reason that we do what we do. And
Great.
Unfortunately for us, we've got to wait a number of years to see these young leaders and these young kids cross the stage to receive their high school diplomas. But knowing that they're going to be transitioning into high school with the level of experience that they've had coming out of, be it CMS or DMS, being involved in the activities that they've all been involved in, from athletics to student council to performing arts to community service experiences. I'm assuming there might be some NJHS sprinkled into this group. It just really excites me because they're moving to an environment now that has more and more and more opportunities to take advantage of than what we were able to provide at middle school. And I am hopeful that they're able to continue the tradition wherever they're going to go to high school to really affect positive change, not only in themselves, but in their peers and ultimately in their entire school. That includes the faculty, staff, and administration. Your voice is extremely powerful, and smart leaders listen. And hopefully you're able to share that voice when you get up there.
I love that, Mr. Starcheski. Thank you for saying that. I'm gonna throw one thing out right now before we go. If you could give advice to anybody in middle school right now, thinking back, looking in the rearview mirror about your time there, and say it's a 5th grader, a 6th grader, a 7th grader, or an 8th grader who might have had some struggles, what would you say to them now? How would you help to develop that path of success for other students? What type of advice would you give? Let's start off with Jack. What would you say to anybody who asked you what the secret is, how you got through middle?
So I would definitely say just, stay strong and always just keep trying. Don't give up, however hard it can be.
Awesome. Athanasia, what would you say?
I would say you just have to keep going because all your hard work will pay off someday. And I would also say, don't care what other people say because when it all comes down, like it's all about you.
Boom. Love that.
Be true to you. Absolutely.
Zachary, what would you say?
I would say to have someone else with you, like someone by your side, like a trusted friend, or because that's really helped me throughout the years.
Great advice. I love it. Alyssa, how about you?
I would say like trying to stay organized and like definitely like there's always people that are around you if you need anyone, and like it really helps you out a lot.
Mr. Starr, what more can you say? I think they nailed it across the board. So, not only depth to them, but they also have enough wisdom to be able to give a little bit of advice to other students who might be listening to this podcast. Again, that is the mark of a true leader. When you really break it down, you guys have that it factor. Congratulations. This whole segment, this 19 minutes has been about you and about your journey and about what you're all about. So fantastic. Don't ever change. Keep going. Mr. Starr, anything you want to add?
Congratulations on the NELMS Scholar Leader. I'm sorry we weren't able to formally recognize all of you with all the pomp and circumstance, but I know, and I can speak for Mr. Packard here and all the faculty and staff at Dudley Middle and Charlton Middle in saying we know that you are set up for success because you've got great support systems around you, but most importantly, you've got an internal drive that's going to move you through any walls that anybody puts up. And if you can't knock that wall down on your own, you're going to figure out to find the key to unlock the door to get through that wall. And that's what we're all about. That's what you need to be about. And I'm just fired up to be sharing this time with you. Thank you all very, very much.
Hold on, one more thing. Alyssa, I just got a text message from Mr. Sinico saying you made his day as he's watching this podcast live. And I'm going to have to work with him about teaching him how to put a comment into the comment section so we can get that up on our screen. But all in all, guys, thank you so much for being here. We look forward to seeing what the future holds for each and every one of you. And remember this, you have a home. You have a home, whether it's a CMS or DMS. We're going to always be there for you. That's what we do, and we're super proud of you. On behalf of the faculty of both schools, we want to say congratulations, and we wish you nothing but well.
That's
Chris,
a
you
wrap.
want to wrap this up? Want to let our friends go? What do you want to do here?
Well, let's just hang out and we'll go ahead and end that broadcast. And thanks to all the viewers who are watching live, and also any viewers who are tuning in afterwards up on our stream. Feel free to leave any comments that you have for us. And if you have suggestions for any additional topics that either involve kids, faculty, staff, community members, or parents, let us know what those could be, and we'll go ahead and see what we can do to schedule those for you.
Hey, help us unlock the middle, and that's what we're going to do each and every week as we look at a different segment that we can tackle. So, again, hats off to all of our NELMS Scholar leaders tonight. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you all have a wonderful night.